What's up, guys? Vigi here, and well, it's been quite a while since the last time I made a video, so I don't know if you've paid attention, but a little bit of news has dropped today, and for the first time in 4 years, I thought I'd make another video on this channel to cover it. So today, if you haven't been paying attention and have been living under a rock, Halo 1 is getting yet another remaster, a remake this time from the ground up in Unreal Engine, that's also happening to come to PlayStation, which is absolutely baffling. I don't know which one of you guys stepped on the butterfly to get that chain of events to unfold, but here we are in the year 2025, almost 2026, getting another Halo remaster that is going to be able to be played on a PlayStation 5. Absolutely insane times. But before I get into it too much, I just want to preface this by saying I'm doing this video completely unscripted, so this is just going to be my honest, raw thoughts from the past about, I don't know, 4 or so hours since the reveal happened, and I have a lot of them, so let's get into them. And let's go ahead and start this off by saying that I was very, like most Halo fans, very cautiously optimistic for this reveal today. So much so that I was texting my buddy about it, just like kind of what Halo has meant to me growing up as a franchise that kind of extended beyond just a video game to me, especially in high school. It helped me through a lot of rough times, helped connect me to a lot of awesome people, and made me feel part of a bigger community that was pretty awesome, and I haven't had that feeling since. And even though I have a lot of regrets from that time, I remember that time very fondly. So going into this reveal, I was very skeptical. I was not hyped, to say the very least, but I also wasn't dooming. I kind of realized that either this game's going to be good and I'm going to continue living, or this game's going to be bad and alright, I'll make peace with that and continue living. And I'm happy to say that this game looks amazing. This game looks absolutely phenomenal, and it looks like the game that I've been dreaming of for the past 4 years since Infinite came out. The gameplay looks phenomenal. The art style looks phenomenal, though I have a few gripes, but again, it's very personal. I think this art style is much better than what we've got in, say, Halo 4 or Halo 5. But the game looks phenomenal. Like I said, the art style, the gameplay, obviously Steve Downes and Jen Taylor coming back in to re-record their voice lines for this remake. You have new content in the form of new weapons. You have new gameplay mechanics like sprint, controversially. You also have aim down sights. It doesn't look like sliding or clambering is going to be returning from Halo 5 and Infinite, which I think is a nice touch and a nice middle ground to make it feel a lot more classic while still having some modern elements in aim down sights and sprint. But ultimately, I think what we saw was very solid, and it got me very hyped, to say the least, about the future of Halo. And it got me thinking about a lot of things, about the franchise, about predictions that I've had about the franchise for the past couple years, and most importantly, where I think the franchise is headed in the next year. And, well, let's talk about it, because even though I haven't made a video in 4 years, I still love to talk about it. So, number one is the new content. Now, this obviously, during the whole presentation, took a bit of a backseat, though there were mentions of it. Obviously, we got to see things like aim down sights, things like sprint, things like briefly a Marine driving the Warthog, 4-player co-op, etc. But there were a few throwaways and tidbits, both in the roundtable discussion and the gameplay, as well as on Halo Waypoint, and more specifically the article detailing what we saw today. So there's going to be a lot of new content coming to this game. Though it is a remake of Halo 1, it is more like, as people say, a reimagining of Halo 1 with new weapons, with new vehicles, and a drivable Wraith. with new modes, i.e. 4-player co-op, and a new 3-mission campaign. And that's really what I want to highlight here. So briefly getting into the new content, we're going to have 9 new weapons that were not available in CE previously. 3 of the confirmed weapons, of which being the energy sword, which we saw in last year's reveal, the battle rifle, and interestingly enough, the needle rifle has also been confirmed to come to the game. Now that one's interesting to me. And it might not be interesting to you at first. It might just seem like, oh, they're adding a new weapon, they're adding a returning weapon, a fan favorite from Halo Reach. But what's also interesting is the way they describe the 3 extra missions that we're going to be getting in this game. A prequel to Combat Evolved, starring Chief and Johnson. Now, the brief concept art we saw for this campaign consists of Johnson and Chief in his Mark IV Mjolnir in a very rough drawn concept-y fashion. So obviously we don't know much or really anything about what this story is going to entail, how you unlock it, is it available from the get-go, yada yada yada. But I've just been thinking about certain mechanics in the game, certain elements they're adding, and particularly honing in on that needle rifle. If those 3 missions are a prequel to CE, if the game includes the needle rifle, and you probably see where I'm going with this, what is happening right before the events of Combat Evolved that leads straight into the events of Combat Evolved? What Halo game previously, the only game even to have the needle rifle, what was that game about? Where was it set? Fellas, I think we're going back to Reach. I think for 3 missions, at least a couple, maybe it's going to be, I've seen theories that they're going to be spread out, maybe one about Silent Storm, maybe one, set somewhere else in, the Halo, I guess, timeline of events. But I would hedge my bets on at least one of those missions being a telling or a brief telling of the events of Halo Reach, at least part of it, from the perspective of Johnson and Chief, which is just absolutely mind-blowing to me. The thought that we could be going back to Reach in 2026 with a needle rifle and with an entirely new perspective. Now, again, this is just speculation, but I just see the stars aligning a little too much on this one. I think it makes perfect sense. Obviously, we know we're just getting the Halo CE remake next year, but if they do end up coming out with a Halo 2 remake, a Halo 3 remake, Halo 2 in specific references Reach a lot, players on PlayStation are going to be asking, what the hell is Reach? What is this planet? And I think that question could be perfectly answered by a prelude in the Combat Evolved game starring Chief and Johnson on their escape from Reach on the Pillar of Autumn. Now that would be awesome, that would be mind-blowing, and if that is the case, I guess we'll find out more next year, that would be my most hyped part of this game. And that's crazy considering that we are getting Flood and Flood Pure forms in this game as well, which is just absolutely insane to think about. I really wanted to talk about that because I haven't really seen anyone talk about that aspect yet. Obviously, we all know we're getting a prelude. We don't know what it's going to be about, but I am going to bet my money on it being a prequel set on Reach from the perspective of Chief, which would be absolutely incredible. But obviously, you guys can let me know what you think about it down in the comments below. Now, I could rave about that theory forever, but I'm not going to do that. Instead, briefly at the end of the video here, I'm just going to go over a little a few more of my thoughts as well as my future in Halo, what I've been doing the past 4 years, just a brief general overview of all that information. Again, I just wanted to get this video out tonight. It's completely unscripted. I half-assed the thumbnail. You know, I just wanted to weigh in on this because this is the first time I've been excited about a game really in a while. And I wanted to kind of voice my opinions. So anyways, in that vein of voicing my opinions, again, like I said at the beginning of this video, I think this game looks incredible. I think what we've heard about this game sounds amazing. I think the Warthog physics look great. Obviously, I'm not there at the HCS event in person to be able to play the game, but it looks absolutely amazing and like everything I'd want from a CE reimagining. There are a couple things that have me a little iffy, like the assault rifle only having 32 bullets per magazine. Obviously, ADS and sprint are a little controversial, though I'm not super worried about those being in the game. And yeah, and overall, I was not expecting to be this positive towards what we saw today. I think the graphics look absolutely insane, and obviously with Unreal Engine, it's known to have some performance issues. We can see that in the demo. I definitely think that Halo Studios, the reason they didn't announce the CE remake last year is because they wanted to come in swinging with gameplay, and I'm glad they did, because over the past 4 years, we've gotten like nothing Halo besides last year's little presentation. But besides that, it's been completely content dry. But today, I mean, we are eating good. We are definitely eating good. We are definitely back for now. But yeah, I'm super hyped for this remake. I think it looks incredible. I can't wait to play it. And I do think that by next year, hopefully, they will have a lot of these issues like frame stutters and some of the weird graphical glitches kind of ironed out. Just some brief other thoughts that I have. I'm super excited. We're finally getting the Flood back. Getting the pure forms in CE is absolutely incredible. I'm really excited for that. Gives me major, what was that, Fireteam Raven vibes, that arcade game that was set on Alpha Halo during the events of Halo 1. So I'm super excited for that. Yeah, it just sounds great. I'm curious to see how they update levels like the library to make them play a little bit better and less tedious. And yeah, if it's anything like what we saw today with Silent Cartographer, you know, slightly adding to the geometry, slightly adding to the cutscenes, like the Pelican shooting down that spear as they're flying in to the iconic Silent Cartographer. Just adding some extra cliffs, kind of spicing up the environments a little bit. I'm all for it, and I can't wait to see how the battle rifle is going to play, the energy sword, and the needle rifle, which I bet you is going to be a part of that prelude. I bet you it's going to be part of that prequel campaign. Those 3 missions, I can almost guarantee that that's going to be set on Reach with the needle rifle. But yeah, that pretty much covers it towards my thoughts and opinions on the remake. Obviously, I was kind of freaking out over a phone call with my buddy while watching it. I was not expecting to be that excited, which I'm very happy to say. But I guess now we'll briefly just move on, since this video is kind of getting long, about what I'm doing, the future of Halo, yada yada. So again, this is the coldest take in this video, but again, I think, like a lot of other people have been reporting, that a standalone Halo multiplayer is also going to launch next year, probably after this remake, to kind of coincide with the 25th anniversary. I think that's a very cold take. I think it's probably going to have a launcher similar to Call of Duty, where you can launch into this multiplayer or the remake campaigns, because again, I can guarantee you CE is not the last campaign that's going to be remade. But yeah, that's my cold take. That's where I think the franchise is headed, how this multiplayer is going to be handled. I'm vastly more worried about than I am the CE remake, because what we saw today is great. If they can transfer that to a multiplayer experience, make it faithful to Halo, not turn it into Fortnite or Call of Duty garbage with a bunch of cosmetics that ruin the art style and feel of the game, that would be great. We'll have to wait and see on that. And then ultimately for myself, The past 4 years have been a doozy, man. I've been through a lot personally. I've changed a lot. When Halo Infinite dropped, really, I made my last video before Halo Infinite even dropped. I was 18 years old, and now I'm 22. So yeah, that is a big chunk of time. So yeah, I've definitely changed a lot when it comes to Halo. I was discussing this with my friend. I don't know how much is going to change in regards to me. I might start making more videos about Halo again, but Halo's not the only thing I like anymore, unlike when I was a teenager, and again, I've changed a lot. But again, I do love Halo. I have a soft spot for Halo. It was a defining pillar of my childhood, both in my teens and very young adolescent years, as well as just my core childhood. It was a huge part of that, the Xbox 360 era, all of that stuff. So it means a lot to me, and I really just wanted to talk about it today. And yeah, if you want to see more videos, let me know. I have some ideas for some. If you want to even maybe see game nights again, let me know. Yeah, just let me know in the comments. But I'm going to wrap up this video here because I've ranted for about 16 and a half minutes. And yeah, I might catch you in another video sometime soon. We'll have to see.
Give them hell, Chief.